I grew up in Portadown and in my younger years attended Salvation Army Sunday School. Don't remember too much about it. Didn't really think it took a lot away from it. At the age of 16 I met and got into a relationship which was fairly young, but got married at 18. Now I went on to have 3 children who I'm very, very proud of, but my marriage itself was not in a good place, and it really was not good. I got very depressed and was getting very anxious and felt very worthless, and I noticed myself just hitting a really bad time where I wasn't sleeping at night, and waiting to try and get through the morning was horrendous because I couldn't see a way out. So I moved on with my children, and that was okay for a few months. It felt like the weight was lifted and what have you, but what I hadn't banked on was that this hurt that was still inside me, that didn't matter where I would go because I was still going to be there, and it was me that needed worked on. Just was going down a slippery slope. Like every other weekend when the children was away, I was finding I was so lost on my own. So I was going out, and I wouldn't say I was partying, but I was certainly drinking way, way more than I should have been. And through that I was making so many bad choices in my life, and that was just rolling into years, and this unhappiness and this heaviness was just constantly there. And just painting on a face, acting everything was okay, and inside I just kind of felt like I was dying, and it wasn't easy to talk about because I felt like I had everything that I needed, but I wasn't happy. And the time went on. I'd lost my dad at a young age, I had lost my brother, and just this hurt, and it actually had hardened my heart somewhat. And I don't think whenever I was out having a drink there was a nice person to be around either. I would have been quite nasty when I come home, and my children hated, even though they got into their teens by then, they hated me drinking, they hated me coming home, and I hated the post-mortem the next day. And that just went on. That was just the cycle. This is life, and I actually thought it's miserable. Life is miserable. 3 years ago I noticed a post for R8 Church, and I was curious as to what it was about, and I messaged a friend, Esther, now from the church, to ask her about it. She told me where it was, what it was about and all the rest of it, and I said, right, I'll maybe give it a go sometime. So months had passed and I'd done nothing about it, and next thing then they posted that they were doing this candlelit service, and I thought, I'm definitely going to go to that. This will be my, this is the opening to go in. And on the morning of this service, my youngest daughter came and said, Mum, we're going to go to Christmas markets because it's my birthday, and do you fancy coming? And there again I just found myself, I made the wrong decision because I went to the market, and a great day was had, and come back into town that night, and I decided I was going to go for a nightcap, which I definitely didn't need because it had way, way too much, which was quite usual for me. And I stayed out to about 11 that night, and I knew that the next day in work would be horrendous because of a 13-14 hour shift, and I couldn't get a taxi home, so I decided that I'm going to have to walk. But walking home took me past the church, and I looked over, and just this immense guilt that I felt, and I thought, you should have went. And the next morning when I got up for work, I have never felt so ill. I've had hangovers, but this was the worst I had ever felt. And I had to go on into my job. I couldn't even keep water down, and I made a vow that that is it. I will never in my life be in this state again. I came to the church, and when I first walked in, to be honest, I was a wee bit taken back, thinking what have I walked into. I never saw hands in the air and worship, and I didn't even realise at that time that they were praising God. I just thought, it's a cult. But by the end of it, I knew that I'd be coming back. I knew that I'd taken something from it, And the weeks went on and the months went on, and I get into like March time, and I always was a creature of habit. It had to be on a Sunday evening, but it came round that my car had to go for MOT, and I thought, well, I'll go to church in the morning because I don't want to miss out. And unknown to me, there was a pastor coming to speak, Brian Somerville, And I came in thinking it was just going to be the same old thing. And I walked in and he started talking. And honestly, I know people say it and it's cliche, but it felt like he had a transcript of my life. A voice in my head immediately was like, it's your time. And I knew it was my time. And I get emotional now even saying it because I just knew, this is for me. And I just asked God, into my heart and just, please, Lord, make me a new creation. Don't let me just feel like this anymore. All praises to God that my life is completely changed and I am what I prayed for, to be a new creation through Christ and what He's done for me, and I can do it for anyone, and it's all free. Just surrender, and that's all you have to do.